Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite authors. So, as you may know, I have a lot of books that I read throughout the year, and so I thought I would share with you guys my favorite authors. So, I have some that are like my core favorite authors, and then I have some that are kind of like honorable mentions. And this was actually one of my subscribers' ideas for this video, so thanks for that. And yeah, so I'm excited to just like dive into it. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, then you won't know who my favorite author is. But if you are not new to the channel, then you already know who I'm going to say. But my all-time favorite author is Pierce Brown, the author of the Red Rising trilogy and the secondary series that follows up on this original series 10 years later. So Pierce Brown, definitely my favorite. I will like be a die-hard Red Rising fan until I die. He has just been so awesome, and I've loved exploring like the worlds that he builds, and just like all the political intrigue, the tactical warfare, and all this different stuff that he incorporates into his storylines, as well as making you feel so many emotions for different characters. For any of you that don't know, Red Rising is very much like a space version of like the Hunger Games with Roman gods, and people are essentially like trying to train in this school to become like tactical commanders for space fleets. So it's really cool. But yeah, that's what this is. Another favorite author of mine is Blake Crouch, who has Recursion and Dark Matter. So I started with Dark Matter, and then I read Recursion, and now he has a book called Upgrade out that I have not read yet, but I need to get my hands on, because both of these books just are amazing. They stuck with me ever since I read them, and I'm really excited to read the next one. He writes like these, by the way, are both standalones. So if you ever want just like a fun sci-fi standalone that's just going to be like such a mind bender for you, pick up one of these. I'm sure you'll have a great time. But yeah, he writes really good standalones, and he writes really cool like thinking sci-fi ones where you're kind of like puzzling through trying to figure out what's going on and trying to see like what's going to happen with these characters and where they're going to end up, and it's always a very interesting conclusion. So definitely check out Blake Crouch. Anyways, the next author I want to mention is Mary Lou. So this is the Legend series. I actually haven't read this series, but most of you probably know her from this series. I have read her Young Elite series, and I read the first book in her new duology, which is Sky Hunter and Steel Striker. So I've read Sky Hunter, and Mary Lou writes like the dystopian from like the early 2000s that you wish you had more of. Her books all remind me of that. And so every time I dive into one of her books, like I get a lot of nostalgia, and it's just so much fun for me. I haven't read a book by Mary Lou that I did not enjoy yet. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna like this series. I hope I like this series. But yeah, this is definitely on my shelf. Like I have this whole series, so I have to check it out at some point. It's up there, and yeah, I'm sure I'll get to them eventually, and I'm sure I'm gonna love them. Then we have John Green. So I have The Fault in Our Stars here because most of you will probably know this book. But my favorite by him is Will Grayson, which is another book where it's following two characters named Will Grayson who meet, find out they have the same name, and then kind of like form a friendship that way. It's really fun. There are LGBTQ plus elements in this book. It has like a lot to do with like musical theater, so I thought that was a fun time. And then this one is about cancer patients that fall in love, and yeah, this one is an emotional mess that you will just like, you will be upset at the end. But the writing is beautiful, like it's so beautiful, and so it pulls you right in. So yeah, John Green is another one of the favorite authors I have, and I have enjoyed reading all of their work that they've put out since. I also am told that I look like the long lost like Green brother. I've been told that I look like Hank Green more than John Green, but people tell me I look like Hank Green, and I have the same energy apparently. So Green brothers, if you're seeing this, I exist. Hi. We can think of a name for me later. It's fine. But yeah. And then of course, Alice Oseman with the Heartstopper series. I love Alice Oseman, and I loved her Heartstopper series. I've been collecting her actual like novels, and I have a collection started up top, And yeah, I'm just, this is what she's got me with so far. I haven't even actually read any of her novels, so like writing style wise, I'm not too sure, but like she became a favorite with the whole Heartstopper series because it captured my heart and just kept it. It was so beautiful, and now it got adapted, and that was so nice to see it adapted and to see all these characters come to life and share this story. Like it's a really important story that I think is really nice for people growing up to see. Like I think that a lot of teens will connect with Charlie and Nick and connect with these characters and just feel seen. So I thought that it was beautiful. Now the next couple are just some honorable mentions. So these are ones that like aren't like exactly on the favorite list, but they're pretty darn close. So the first one I have is Claire McIntosh, and I read her book I Let You Go, and I have still not forgotten about this book. This book has not let me go. But yeah, so this is the story. It's a thriller following a woman who is, I think she gets in an accident at the beginning of the book, and then from there it kind of like follows her perspective throughout, and she's trying to like escape different things. And this one was a mind bender. Like, holy, I thought that I knew what was going on, and by the end of it I was just like completely turned around. But it was really well done in the way that the author like revealed certain things and just kind of like it flowed really nicely and made you think one thing, and then all of a sudden things just flip around. It's just, they're really good at misdirection, I guess, is what I would say. So I have other books by Claire McIntosh that I do intend to try. This is the one that I've read by them so far and had an amazing time with. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually like super grateful because I only heard about this book when I participated in like a Bookstagram book club way back in like when I was in college, I think. So I'm super grateful to that Bookstagram book club that is no longer a thing, but I'm really happy that I did join it. So I found some good books in it. I also found The Martian in that book club too. So that's pretty cool. Another honorable mention is a recent author, which is Darcy Coates. When I read The Haunting of Leigh Harker, I had such a fun time with this. Maybe it's just that like I'm not used to ghost stories because I don't read too many of them, but I had such a fun time. It was so creepy, and there was like such a like heartwarming friendship in this book as well, because it's like a horror book, but you're like also following along with this really adorable friendship that's happening, and it's just like, I don't know, it was a really good blend, and it was really fun, and so I really want to read more books by her. I've actually put a whole bunch on my like Amazon wish list, so hopefully I get those someday so that I can read some more of her books. But just by this one book, like she's really high up on my list now. Like I want to read more of her stories that she creates. So yeah. Another one which was very unexpected for me is Adam Cesar, I think that's how you say it, with Clown in a Cornfield, because this book was exactly like an 80s slasher flick, and it was so like there were comical moments. It was cheesy, like watching one of those movies, but like so good. I fell right into it and had such a fun time with this book. And yeah, like I felt like I was watching a movie while I was reading this book. And so I couldn't put it down. Like I just wanted to keep going and see what would happen with our characters. Like nobody was safe, and there's killer clowns everywhere, and it's just like madness, but so much fun. And so there's actually a sequel coming out to this, I believe, which I'm really looking forward to. I've also like recently been rewatching, well, not rewatching, actually I'm watching them for the first time, but like the very old like Halloween movies, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. I love like super cheesy old slasher flicks, so yeah, this book was just like that, and so I would love to read more like horror style books like this one. So if Adam writes more, I'm gonna pick him up. And then the last one on this list is Brandon Sanderson. I read Skyward and Starsight. Haven't read further in this series yet, but I also read his like superhero kind of trilogy with like Steelheart as the main one. The Reckoners, that's it. I read that series and had an amazing time with it. Brandon Sanderson just has like a really good way of writing like Spitfire characters that I've noticed, and I enjoy his Spitfire characters and also the worlds that he creates too. Like they're just so much fun. I have not delved into like his more intense books, the big like adult fantasy books. I have not touched those yet because they're a little intimidating to me, but I'm sure I will dive into them eventually because Marcus has like all of them on the shelves. So they're there waiting for me if I want to get to them. But I do really like his writing style, so I will probably read more. And that's it for my list. So I'm hoping to have more show up in my life that become high up authors that will maybe bump other ones off this list, but I'm very excited as of right now with the ones that I do have, and I'm excited to read more of the books for my the main ones. I'm excited to read more books for the main ones and for the ones that almost made on the list, just because I'm always down for like a good book, and all these authors, their writing styles just have stuck with me, and I just want more. So I'm always going to be looking forward to any of these authors and their books that they come out with. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite authors are. I'm always curious to find out what my subscribers are reading, what genres they really like. So definitely tell me in the comments down below. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as links about my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.